Okay, on this video, we're going to pick up on the next examples. Those first few all dealt with addition and subtraction. These are going to deal with multiply and divide. So I'm on page 346 in your workbook if you want to follow along. If not, you can just write them down. Example 8 now is -2/5 x is less than or equal to 11. So I like to think of this negative as with the 2. I always think of my negative as with the numerator. And I need to divide, or on this side, it means divide by 5. So I need to get rid of that. So I need to get rid of the 5 by multiplying. So that 5 will cancel there. That'll leave me with -2x is less than or equal to 55. Basically, you're just moving the 5 from the bottom and moving it up to the top by multiplying. Okay? Now, here is the main difference with inequalities. With equations, when you divided by a negative, you didn't have to remember anything extra. On inequalities, when you divide by a negative number, you have to change the direction of your sign. So you divide by a -2, that changes that to greater than or less than, and then I like to write it as -55/2. I like to put my negative with my numerator. This would be correct to leave the negative in the denominator though. But that's the main thing. When you multiply or divide by a negative number, change the direction of, sorry, can't see all that, sorry. When you multiply or divide by a negative number, change the direction of the inequality sign. Okay, big deal, okay? If you have a negative involved, let's say you have 3x is less than -12. So there's a negative involved in my problem. I'm going to divide both sides by 3. I'm going to get -4. You do not change the sign. You don't change the direction of the less than sign. This is less than here. It stayed less than because the number I divided by was +3. There's a negative involved in the problem, but that doesn't matter. You're looking at the number on the letter. Here, the number on the letter was negative, so we flipped it. Here, the number on the letter was positive, so we left it the same. Okay? Next example. 20x is less than 4. Okay? Your tendency here is going to be to divide both sides by 4. But the 20 is the number with the letter. Always divide by the number with the letter. So we got to divide by 20, so we get a fraction. X is less than 4/20, but we want that to be lowest terms. 4 goes into both of those, so that reduces to 1/5. So x is less than 1/5. Let's say we have -13x is greater than or equal to -161. Okay. Whoops, I mixed up 2 examples. Hold on. Let's make this 7x. I put 2 problems together. Okay, 7x is less than or equal to 161. So we're going to divide both sides by 7. So divide by 7, divide by 7. X is greater than or equal to a -161 divided by 7 is a -23. So that's my answer there. The next problem is -13x is greater than or equal to 117. So pause the video and work this problem if you want to. So divide by -13, divide by -13. X is less than or equal to, because I divided by a negative. And then we're going to take 117 divided by 13. I'm doing this on my calculator because I don't know my 13s very well. And I get -9. Okay, so remember, when it's a negative, when you divide by a negative, and remember that when this is negative, you have to divide by a negative. Some of you forget that. If this is a negative number, you have to divide both sides by negative 13, and that means you flip the sign from greater than to less than. Okay, one more that you guys can do. So let's do negative 13x is greater than negative 169. So you guys go ahead and work that, pause the video, and then play it up, start it up again. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 13. We get x is less than, and this would be a positive 13. Okay, so that's how you solve inequalities. Remember to change the sign from greater than to less than, or vice versa, if you divide by a negative. I'm actually going to add one more. We haven't done a division one. So let's say you have x divided by negative 8 is greater than 5. Okay, here we are multiplying. We need to multiply by a negative 8. This means divide by negative 8. So the way that we get rid of that is we multiply by a negative 8. So that cancels. We have x, and we multiplied by a negative number. So just like when you divide by a negative number, you have to change the sign. So we change it from greater than to less than, and then we have negative 40. So watch for that also. Okay, you should be ready to do your assignment.